wanted to stop by and talk to you guys and give you more information about my businesses, my products, and my journey as a small business owner. So, first, I'm going to start off. I want to say thank you to DoorDash. She did her shout outs today, and I didn't even know that she did shout outs. I didn't get any notifications for whatever reason, and I just so happened to go on my page, and I just started seeing messages from people who had stopped by and subscribed because of her shout outs. And I just want to thank everybody who came by and to support and actually watch my videos. It would be great if you see this video, just go through and watch some videos, help me get my views up, subscribers, comment, like, interact with the channel, and I greatly appreciate it. Of course, also support by emailing me. You can order products and stuff. Okay, so when I saw DoorDash's shout outs today, and I also want to shout out the young lady who was the one who donated my shout out. I must say that because I did not pay for the shout out. She did. And I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but I will definitely put her name up on the screen so you guys can see her. She's a very sweet woman. I went to her page, I subscribed to her channel, and I just love the idea of the community, supporting each other, helping each other grow, because we can all grow at the same time. I feel like if huge and bigger YouTubers did stuff like this, everyone would have a chance to grow. There's no such thing as there not being enough space, because we all have different niches. We're all going to have a different audience, and we're all going to speak to a different type or a different person. So there's space for all of us to grow. It's just that simple. So I pray that one day when I get big enough that I can do the same for others, because that's awesome. And that young lady in DoorDash is a blessing to not only me, but whoever else she has reached out to and helped. Just getting some business and generating and everything. That's great. I spoke about my journey and my story with my last relationship. I didn't go into too many details about my other relationships, but that was my most recent. Maybe one day I'll get into details about the other experiences that I had, if God puts that on my heart. But today, I wanted to go more detail about my businesses, because as I was watching her do her shout outs, I was very much encouraged and like pumped up, like, this is awesome. I'm watching the shout outs and I'm hearing all these other channels, and I'm like, man, I still got a lot of work to do, just to get my business off the ground. And I am, I can't stress enough that I am a very, very new business owner. Like, I'm literally starting from scratch. I am not a business that has been in business for 4 or 5 years and everything is patent pended and whatever. I am still literally working to get a brand, build a brand, and just get a name and get a regular clientele, like a regular customers. But I haven't gotten to my peak, not even close to my peak yet. So I wanted to give more detail about my products and what I have to offer and what I plan to bring to the table and how I got to where I am. So I told you all about my experience, about my ex, and how we were homeless last year around this time. As a matter of fact, starting in June of last year all the way up until February of this year, we were homeless. And I was staying in a hotel with me and my kids, three of my daughters. My son wasn't staying with me. He's a little older. So, how I got into it is I have always been a creative my entire life. I've been doing hair since I can remember. I used to have locks, and I used to do my locks, and I used to do other people's locks. And then right before, should have been a sign, right before the relationship ended and before we lost our place, I don't know, I just had the urge to take my locks out. Like, I just wanted to start new. And something inside of me was saying that your locks is like carrying all of the baggage with you. Like, I had those locks through all of those bad relationships, and I felt like I just needed to let it go. Like, it was a signification of the old me, and I was ready to step into new me. And little did I know, God was moving me into the new me of today that was also dropping off not only the hair, but the man, right? Like he was starting to strip me of a lot of things, and my hair was one of them. So I took my locks out, hair cut really short, and this is where my hair, I have braids in right now, but my hair is like, short, curly, whatever, in this natural state. So I cut my hair and was just really just, making a transition into wherever God was taking me. And I have been doing my hair, my kids' hair, and the ADHD girl, and and making products. Like I can make carpet shampoo, doggy shampoo. We had a dog that unfortunately I had to get rid of before we moved here. She has skin conditions. You know how dogs can have like allergic reactions. She would have allergic reactions like when she went outside, and she would get real itchy. So I created my own doggy shampoo, and it worked like really well. Um, Carpet shampoo, soaps, hair conditioner, hair oil, lotions, and lip glosses, lip balms, and I just always knew how to do that stuff. So my kids have always been my biggest supporters, and my daughters, and they will always tell me, Mom, you could have like 1,000 businesses. You can do everything. You can cook, you can make stuff. Like you could have and I'm like, I don't want to have a restaurant. I don't want to cook for nobody. I've worked in the food industry, like fast food and restaurants and prep cook. Not my kind of spiel. I can't deal with that. But I can cook. That's one of the other things that I can do, and sing, dance, write music. I've kind of done a little bit of everything. I used to perform when I was younger in my teenage years in the DMV area. I've been in some studios, recorded some stuff, almost worked with Drew Hill at one point. I've been to American Idol tryouts, The Voice tryouts. I did a Baltimore Idol, and I think I made it to like second place or something like that. But as I got older, I grew out of the wanting to be an entertainer. I still love singing, love music, absolutely love dancing. I'm just not into the famous part. That part, I just kind of was like, I don't really want to be, you know, I'm not, I'm an introvert. So that's not a good job for me. So, but I've always been a creative. So, and the kids encouraged me that I should sell things and I could do this. And I'm like, yeah, that's a great idea. But like I said, I'm an introvert. So I find it really hard to reach out to people. Um, the thing is, I'm a Libra, and I'm not into astrology or anything anymore. But I say that because I know that those who are, when you read the description of what a Libra is, it literally matches my personality to a T. And one of the things that it always says, or they always say that Libras are very personable. We get along with people. We're very good with people, and we're people pleasers. We can make everybody happy. We like things to be beautiful. All of those things, right? But me as a person, my individual self, while I am really good with people and I get along with people, I also am very introverted and shy. So I'm like, I can do these things, but I don't, the selling part of it is where my issue would come in, because I have to sell these things myself. I'm a one woman show, at least for right now. So I had to kind of start getting over that. And if that's, if I want to be successful. So when we moved into the hotel, God put it on my heart to um, do like lip glosses and body oils. It started off as like lip glosses, body oils, and body butters. And it was specifically lip glosses that really stood out to me. And when God, excuse me, puts something on your heart or gives you something to do, he just keep bringing to your attention. And I kept seeing videos, and I was just drawn to it, and I just had this strong feeling of, okay, I can do this. And I literally turned the hotel Red Roof Inn where we were staying, I turned my room into a literal store. It's me, my three girls, I still had my animals with me. We still had the dog. I still had two of my cats. No, we had three of the cats because I was determined to keep my family together. Especially my animals because they all grew up together, and at the time they are older now. They're no longer kittens. Um, and I just didn't feel right putting them in a shelter because I know they're older cats and they're very much attached to me. And I know this is off subject, but I didn't want to give them to a shelter knowing that they would just be sitting in there. God knows how long it would take them to get adopted because people always go for kittens first. My black cat Oreo is not very friendly. So, unless people see animals and see cats, and it's like, unless she knows you, she's not going to say nothing. She's not going to try to get close to you. She will be terrified to go into a shelter with a bunch of random people, random animals. I just couldn't see myself. And I'm glad I didn't because I still have both of them today. Still have my cats today. The kitten, I was able to find the kitten a home, and I was able to find my dog a home because we couldn't bring the dog here. But anyway, I had all of that going on, but also at the time, there were great people who were helping us out that would give us like free clothes for me and the kids. I had a lot of clothes and stuff from the kids because my kids always have a lot of clothes, which this is a blessing. That's one thing I never had to worry about is my kids having clothes and shoes. And I like to thrift shop or whatever. My parents, so I had a lot of stuff, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna start selling, stuff because I needed money. Door dashing, and I'm grub hubbing, and I'm working the part-time job, but I still have to take care of the room daily. It's not but so much you can make in a day if you still got kids. I still gotta go, you know what I'm saying? So things aren't adding up as you would think they would when I'm paying 100 something to $200 a day because I'm trying to stay in a room every day plus gas. So I literally set my hotel room up as a store. I had clothes and shoes hanging in the window, and I'm literally making my product in the hotels. I started it at Red Roof, and then when the organization that paid for our hotel stay for the remainder of the time from, I think it was from October all the way to till we moved here, which was a blessing. Um, I was making stuff there too. And that's pretty much where I started. That's where I started. I started in a hotel room, and I was like, Lord, am I crazy? I literally sat in the hotel room one day and I was by myself because the kids was catching a bus to school from the hotel. And so I'm in there by myself and I'm just looking around and I'm like, Lord, am I crazy? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Should I be doing something else? Because mind you, while all this is going on, I'm still filling out job applications for a regular 9 to 5. We are now in, what month is this? July of 2025. I have been filling out job applications to get a job since last year before we lost the place. I got the job that I was working at, but again, it was still part-time. It wasn't a lot of hours. So I was still I did a few interviews around that time before we lost the place, but I was still actively filling out applications. Since then, it's been about a year. I have never in my life had this hard of a time getting a job, ever. Not in the field that I'm in. I worked in warehouse, inventory control. Like I said, I've done a lot of jobs. I've never had an issue getting a job, ever. So the fact that I have been applying to jobs that's in my field, and now it's been so long now, I'm the gap between the time I've actually been at work and now is gonna lower my chances because it's like, okay, you've been out of work for a long time, but or a longer period of time, and I've been trying. So I'm sitting in the hotel room one day and I'm just like, Lord, do you want me to do this? Because this feels kind of crazy. I mean, like people, I am the only person in this hotel. Mind you, the hotel I was staying at, like I said, was like drug dealers, people on drugs, like drug addicts, like people have had literal drug overdoses in some of the hotel rooms above us. Like you could hear at night people fighting, ratchetness all around. And I had like I I had scriptures and prayers, and I had a prayer book. Like, I'm literally anointing my room and praying out loud in the bathroom every day, couple times a day, blasting gospel music, because I was determined to get out of there. And I don't know where God was taking me, but I knew God was taking me somewhere. And I'm sitting here, people will walk past and look at the room like, what the heck? I've never seen anything like this before. I got signs in the window. I got my little old printer that I had at the house, plugged it up in the hotel room, printed out signs. I'm making products, and every day the housekeepers mainly would come by and actually buy stuff from me. Every day the housekeeper, they were Spanish, and most of them didn't speak English, but they were just so sweet. Every day they would all come to my room, or one would come to my room and say, what do you got? And if they found something that they thought the other coworker would like, they would call them down, and they will all come to my room every day looking for new stuff. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. And that particular day, when I had everything sitting up there, and I was just feeling real crazy that day, and I'm like, I feel like I'm just nuts, because one, from a person who have been working a regular 9 to 5 her entire life, and we grew up on this whole, you go to work, and if you're not working, then you're lazy. If you're not going to work every day, then what are you doing with yourself, right? If you're not working for some man, somebody's business, what are you doing? So I'm in this hotel room in the middle of the day, feeling like, okay, I'm not doing enough, right? So I prayed and I said, Lord, if this is what you want me to do, if you want me to make this out of a business somehow, I need confirmation. I need for someone to come to me and talk to me about my business, something, right? I didn't know how this was going to happen because, like I said, I'm not walking around with a sign saying I sell stuff. And unless you walk past my hotel room, and you were actually in the hotel, and the hotel is enclosed, like in the back, that's where we were, you would know. So I was just like, I need confirmation because I feel real crazy. I feel like I'm doing this, but I should be doing something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, the enemy tries to distract you and have you running real fast in circles. And sometimes God will slow you down, and you feel like you're going in circles, or you feel like you're not going anywhere because he slows you down. So now you feel like you're not doing anything because you're used to doing a whole bunch of nothing. And the enemy will try to throw a bunch of opportunities your way, or try to tell you to do something else to have you think, okay, oh, if say a job pop, if he did gave me a job or opportunity, I'm going running to this job, and now 6 months later I'm miserable, still not making enough. And God is like, no, I want you to stand still in this and work on this. So the next day I get up, and I had these necklaces that this sweet lady had given me that had faith on them, and they were like written kind of in like cursive. So at least I couldn't really read what it said from far. Like, you had to look kind of up close to see what it said. And I wore it every day, but I had like three of them. So the next day I had this necklace on. I stopped at the gas station. It's literally right next door to the hotel that we were staying at, on my way to work the next day. This is after I said the prayer the night before. The kids are on the bus going to school, so I'm by myself. I go into the gas station, and the lady that's behind the counter, she's helping the guy in front of me. So I'm standing kind of way behind him because I don't stand up on people's backs. Some people be standing too close. Back up some. That has nothing to do with nothing. I just feel like somebody needed to hear that. So I'm standing kind of far back. So I don't know how she would be able to see just what the necklace said. But from afar, she was like, oh, I like your necklace. What that say, Faith? And I looked down, I'm like, oh yeah, it does. So she's saying it, but she's helping the guy. She finished with him, and I come up to the counter, and she's like, yeah, I really like that. And I was like, oh well, I sell these. I have, more if you want one. She's like, oh really? I would love one. How much is it? I told her it was $5. She's like, yeah. I said, I can go get it for you. And she's like, sure. So I go and get it, and then we get into a conversation. I'm telling her that I sell clothes, I make items, and she's like, that is really cool. I would love to buy some stuff from you. And she gets my information, and then I get in a car, and it dawns on me that I had just said that prayer the night before. And if I'm not mistaken, the prayer, I asked him that if you want me to do this, I need somebody to ask me about something about my business, like something on me. Like somebody has to point out something and say something to me about the business or something that I'm wearing. And she pointed out the necklace that says faith, by the way. I got in the car and it didn't dawn on me till I got in the car and I was like, Lord, did you just answer my prayer? And I'm like, really? That's so cool. And I'm like, okay, I guess I guess we're doing this. But again, I'm in a hotel. So what I don't even know where to start. I'm just selling stuff at this point. So I'm just selling clothes, making stuff as I go. And then once I move here, I got my taxes and I got a little bit of a break because I was like, oh, God allowed me to get a car. I paid off some bills here, just to kind of set myself up because again, as soon as I moved here, I got let go from that part-time job. Oh, and I didn't throw that in there. Also, DoorDash, Instacart, and what is it? Grubhub. I couldn't do that anymore. I had to stop doing it while I was in the hotel at a certain point because the window on the car was bursted out and the car wasn't running too well. So I couldn't really trust it to do deliveries anymore. So I was really just using it back and forth to work and back and forth to the hotel. Like the battery kept cutting out and that was a whole nother ordeal. So I couldn't even do it anymore if I wanted to at a certain point. Um, and at some point when I tried to get back into it, it was like God was blocking me from everything. And I'm like, okay, you don't want me to do this either. Okay. Because again, I don't know. I guess it was just a distraction. It wasn't really doing anything in the long run. Get me gas money. So and it depends because door dashing is a great job because I know door dashes. It depends where you are. Let me be specific because where I am, unless you are doing it full time, I don't think and I couldn't do it for full time. I just couldn't. With my situation, I couldn't. And like I said, my car wasn't really good for it. And now I got another car, I got my home, and I'm like, Lord, what do you want me to do? I try to go back into delivery jobs. I can't even get an interview now. I have been applying for jobs since last year. It really just dawned on me when I said that. A whole year. And there's times in there where I kind of stopped and was just like, all right, Lord, you don't want me to go. I'd see it. You don't want me to work. I mean, but there were a long period from the time that I was in the hotel all the way up that I was literally doing like, you go in Indeed and it got to the point where I would just do click all of them, just applying to 30, 40 jobs at a time. And I'm not getting any responses. And the ones that I am getting responses to are ones that are really, really far that I can't make it to. Or somebody sent me a job interview for like mechanical something. I'm not a mechanic. Who said I was a mechanic? I don't know, girl. Don't have me working on your car because we both ain't gonna go nowhere. I'm gonna blow myself up in your car. What is you asking me to be a mechanic for? And I know I don't have that on my resume. So it's just like really weird. I've never had stuff like that happen to me before. So now I'm in this space of, okay, I'm here, Lord. I got some, a few supplies so I can make some things. And I'm still like, okay, what do you want me to do? Because now, if you want me to work on this business, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Because I feel like I kept trying to go back to applying for jobs. And then before I started this channel, um I kept getting like seeing these YouTubes about starting a channel and start that channel, God put it on your heart, start that channel. And I had passing thoughts about it, and I was like, okay, Lord, is this you talking to me again? Like, you want me to do this? Is this something else you adding into the mix of things? um and then I see a video because I was still trying to apply for jobs, and this is like right before I started this YouTube channel. And I've only had this YouTube channel for like a month now. And I see a video where I first saw DoorDash because I didn't know who she was before I started my channel. And I literally see the video and I can't remember the title. The title was like, God said, don't go back to work, or don't work that 9 to 5, or stop filling out job applications. That's what it was. It was another lady. I can't remember her name right now, but it was another lady that said, God said, don't go back to work. Don't go back to no 9 to 5. He gave you these ideas. This is what work on this business. And then I saw a DoorDash's video that said, stop filling out job applications. That's what it was. And then I'm like, okay, so you want me to put my all into this. And that's where we are now. And I'm like, okay. And, God will put you in a space where he's like, look, quit that job. When you really start listening to God, it don't be making sense. A lot of times we'll be doing a whole lot of stuff and we think it makes sense because it gives us instant gratification. Like, we'll work a job that we are so miserable at, or we'll work a job that we may be good at, might be good and getting paid good money, because you get that instant gratification, because the world has you thinking if you're leaving out at the butt crack of dawn, coming back at the in the evening time, and you got a paycheck with your name on it, you must be doing something right, right? That's what you're supposed to be doing. And in the end of it all, we do all of that, and every Friday you're still like, it's the same old, not really going anywhere. You don't feel like you're really making any progress. You're just doing stuff. You're just doing something. But is it really worth doing? I guess. And he finally stripped everything away from me and set me down and said, don't do anything except this. And no matter how, I even the past like couple weeks, I've went back to trying to fill out jobs. It's like now, and this is another thing, I'm a feeling I've never dealt with when I go online to even fill out a job applications, because I've never been lazy. I don't mind working. I go online and look at these jobs, and I'm literally, I don't even know how to explain, like disgusted. Like, I'm looking at the job and I'm like, not disgusted with the work. I'm not above the work. I'm looking at it like, I really just feel like I'm past this. There's something telling me inside that I will never go back to that. Like, it's something telling me in the inside that if I was to even go back into one of these jobs, I would want to walk right back out the door. Like, I just feel like I don't belong there anymore. That's not me anymore. Like, he put my old self away, and now he's trying to usher me into this new life, this new person, and I'm still getting to know her. I don't know what she's supposed to be doing. I don't know where she's going. I don't know how to get there. He's literally giving me step by step as the day goes along. Like, every day is something he's like giving me step by step. And that's where we are today. That's how we got to this. So he gave me the idea. Now, the thing is, the designs, my clothing designs, he gave me that idea 2 years ago. I started making a Shopify, and I started that while I was with my ex. And I guess I didn't even take it seriously, and I didn't put too much into it. And I just started doing designs, and I know people liked it. It's like I always get a good response to these things. But I just didn't stick with it. But the idea stuck with me. Um, so he gave me the lip gloss and the lip balms and stuff. That was last year. So I started working on that. And then he brought back the idea of the inspirational shirts. And he's like, I want you to open this back up and really. And I had an experience where I was working for another YouTuber, um, Profit Productions, and I absolutely love her. And I helped her, with a website, and God helped me doing some things with her. And now that I am working on my business, I see why he kind of placed me there, because everything that I was doing there, I'm now doing for myself. And I didn't know how to do it before. I just literally was learning as I was doing it for her. And now I'm like, oh, I know why you had me doing that, because now I'm doing it for myself. And it's really what I wanted to do for my business is what I was trying to incorporating into hers, like bits and pieces. So I got the idea of the YouTube, and I said, okay, it took me a minute. I kept seeing these videos and it took me a little second. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to start it. I just went on, started it, recorded some videos, and I posted them. And a couple weeks go by, and I wasn't expecting like fireworks the day that the right after. But the enemy will find ways to discourage you. So I started seeing some videos and just things that were just kind of making me feel like my story was inadequate, or, people were going to look at me a certain way, or, so I was like thinking about it. I said, Lord, do you really, is this what you really want me to be doing? Should I be doing this? Like, and then every time I would have that little doubt, I started having dreams about it. And, and then I would, see other videos or other channels that are like, don't give up. And I'm like, okay, don't give up. Okay, let me get back at it. And I got to put my all into it. Um, so now I have this channel, my inspirational line, tees and bumpers, and my product line. And this is all I have. Like I said, and then I be trying not to get emotional. I'm a sensitive person, so y'all got to excuse me, okay? But I don't have regular income right now. So I'm in that state where God is like, you have to put your all into this. And every day is a struggle. And I guess the thing is, when I've been in the hotel and homeless all last year, it's like now it feels like I was just like, dang, I thought when I moved here, the struggle, I didn't, life is never going to be perfect. And when you give your life to God, it's definitely not, people seem to think, one, you have to be perfect in order to give your life to God. You're not supposed to be perfect. You are supposed to be exactly who you are, and then God perfects you, and then you're still not going to be perfect. But and then also, when you change your life or give your life over to God, that now means that your life is just going to go smooth. You're supposed to be now rich, and you're supposed to be now beautiful, and you're supposed to have everything. And while He does say He will supply all of your needs according to His riches and glory, in order to do that, you have to be built a certain way, because He wants to make sure your heart is in the right place, your heart is in the right posture. He can't, basically, He cannot build a empire on dirt. He can't build an empire on brokenness, on a broken foundation, because it'll all fall down. So if I'm still needing to be raised up in a certain area or fixed in a certain area, which is why He strips everything away from you. He stripped everything away from me. I'm literally, it's just me and my kids in here every day. That's it. No men, no friends, barely family. And not because I don't love my family, but because He's even separated me, because He's working on me. And I had to learn to stop bringing everybody into it. People were around stealing my blessings. He had to put me to myself and really start working on me. So I'm not there yet. And I'm only renting this place that I'm barely keeping. But I'm only renting this place. This is not the end of my journey. I'm still at the beginning. The What I was going through in the hotel, losing my place, that was the end of the last chapter. This is the beginning of a new book. Oh, let me say that again because I like that. And actually, let me rephrase that. What I went through last year, up until I moved here, was the end of the last chapter of that last book of my life. This is the beginning of the first chapter of a new book in my life. And I don't know what's to come. So now I am in a space where I'm literally starting from scratch. I got an idea, a few supplies, and a dream, and God. That's literally all I have. I have no funding. I don't have a big brand behind me. I haven't already been running this for years. I don't have a website. Like all of these things I'm literally working on as we speak. Which is what leads me to what I'm gonna say next. So moving forward, I am opening an Etsy shop, a TikTok shop. I'm working on that as well as putting in a part or a different collection on my clothing design website with my products. So you don't have to email me. There goes my nose itching. Excuse me. So you don't have to email me to order things. You will be able to order them right off the website. Until that's up, you have to email me to order things directly from me as far as my products are concerned. You can go through the Shopify website and order clothing, and if you want something customized, you can let me know. And then the jewelry line also, that would be uploaded onto the Etsy and to the TikTok shop as well. I'm working on open up a TikTok and what else? Sorry, look at me taking notes. An Etsy, a TikTok, and of course building my YouTube. Um, I'm working on getting my LLC and all of those things in line, getting my everything copywritten, PO boxes, all those kind of things. And I am in need of funding. So if you are into supporting and you would like to help this channel grow, to help me grow my business, donations are greatly appreciated. And you could also support by buying my products. You can support by commenting, subscribing, sharing, liking the video, interacting with the channel so I can get some movement going on over here. But I appreciate you sticking by for as long as you have listening today. So yeah, that is my journey and how I got to where I am growing my businesses. Um, God is not finished with me yet. There is a long road ahead of me. Um, you know, doing something productive every day, something towards my goals, you know. Um, so yeah, it's hard. It is, but I have to stay positive. I have to stay focused, and I have to keep my faith. And I cannot forget how far he's already brought me. He did not bring me this far to leave me. He kept me all that year. He's blessed me and kept, put people around me to help. Uh, I don't think he brought me. I know he didn't bring me here to leave me here. There's a reason for every season. And now I am in a rebuilding season where everything is being built from scratch. He stripped away everything. And I didn't have much in the first place, to be honest. I didn't have much, to be quite honest. My prayer is not to be a millionaire. That's not what I am believing in God for. He will bless you with abundance and provision anyways. I'm not believing in God for $1 million or to be a billionaire. He brings that into my life. I will be grateful. I'm just looking for stability right now, you know? So if you are interested and you want to support, you can do any of those things. I'll leave all of that information down in the description box. And I will also post a video with some of my products so you can see the lip glosses. And as far as the body butters, I am working on making a new batch with some different scents and stuff, but I can also make them custom made. So if you have skin issues, eczema, you don't want scent, you don't want a color, you can email me and let me know, and I can make those things for you. But I hope that this video is encouraging for someone. I know my story, I can be all over the place because so many things has happened in this past year. It's hard to really stay in one line because it all happened at once and then it's all still happening at once. But for all of you out there who are still waiting on God or following Him and you don't understand where you're going, you don't know the road, you don't know the directions, you're just walking with Him, continue to hold His hand. Pray, pray, pray. God has been waking me up at 3 a.m. every night for God knows how long, for this past year and before, to pray and uh, waking me up early to pray. I now have a routine where I have to, I set myself up to pray 3 times a day. Even if I don't have time to do like a long hour prayer, I at least go and do a short prayer to let God know that, I'm still listening and I'm still, following Him, just to acknowledge Him in all of my ways. Uh, Time to read my word every day. Sometimes I feel like I'm reading it just to be reading it. And sometimes I'm reading it for revelation. And sometimes I'm just reading it to understand the stories because I'm still learning the Bible. I don't know the Bible front to back. I know the stories in the Bible because I was raised in church, but I don't know it like about Bible scholar. So I'm literally starting from the beginning, just like He started my life from scratch. I am starting from the beginning and reading all the way to the end. And however long that takes me, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to get out of it whatever God has for me. It's, planning a time of day to have some sort of self care just to keep my sanity, um, so I don't feel like I just, because He's rebuilding my life. This is a whole different structure than I'm used to. I'm not used to being home during the day, and it just feels like because my schedule is different. It just feels like I'm not doing something. Like I feel like I'm always not doing enough. But just spend time and just really take care of myself. Eat healthy. 1 hour of silence a day because we fill our days with so much social media. For me, it's always YouTube. I don't really have an Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff. I just mostly YouTube. I just watch YouTube. But sometimes, God has told me sometimes I just need to silence the noise so I can hear His voice. And I try to go to bed early because it's easy to fall out of a time schedule and stay up all night when you don't have a set schedule, you know. And something physical activity related, stretching, something, just to give myself some kind of order. But anybody who is going through what I am going through, keep going. We're going to make it. There is a reason for every season. He's taken us somewhere. Um, just keep talking to Him. Let Him reveal each step to you as it's time. But just don't, one thing you can't do, don't ever give up. Don't ever let those words or thoughts slip out your mind or your mouth because the enemy is waiting for you to say something negative so he can make it manifest in your real life. And from a person who's spoken so many word curses over her own self, those curses of I'm always broke, I don't never have anything, nothing ever goes right for me, I hate my life. I've said all of those things unknowingly, knowing that I have been tying myself in a literal pretzel of circles and cycles, bad circles and bad cycles. And God is leading me out of that. And it's a long, hard road, but it's worth it. So, yeah, that's a little bit about me and my journey as a small business owner. And yeah, stick around and grow with me. Bye.